Welcome to another weekly watch list session. I'm gonna start by looking at the fear ingredient next. So we're at 36, we're at fear right now. So technically, this is the time to be a little bit greedy and scoop up some shares, scoop up some stocks, some stuff for your long-term portfolios. As you guys know, I always say on here, Warren Buffett said, be fearful when others are greedy, greedy when others are fearful. So it's, we're looking at the fear ingredient next. Some reason, right? We're at fear. That does surprise me with the market pretty much near all-time highs. But at the same time, you guys know the state of the economy. You guys know the state of the uncertainty in the economy. You guys probably saw the news, which was released this morning. I think Jax posted it. The news was pretty much saying, in regards to jobs numbers from 2025, right? The jobs revisions were down 1 million, which is crazy. That's a lot of that's a big number for a job revision. And it's kind of crazy because, we're in February 2026. So did it really take them a few months, a year to find that out? I don't really believe it. So I think everything has been priced into the market. But again, I'm just telling you factors which contribute to this fear, right? I'm expecting the markets to open red tomorrow, purely off that news alone. But yeah, just wanted to tell you guys as well, time to scoop up some long-term shares of the stocks that you kind of, you see and you like. So right now, this is the S&P 500. We pulled back last week, right? We finished red finally. That's the first red week of this year, right? Very important to note that. That's the first red week of this year. So does that signal we might start a downtrend? I don't know yet, right? We're not sure. We don't know. We never know until, things play out. But I'm just saying, be aware of that as well. And so we hit that 696 level a couple times on the S&P 500 and sold off. We're now at 681, as you guys obviously saw last week, Wednesday and Thursday. I'll go to the 1 hour charts. Wednesday and Thursday, right? We had heavy selling pressure. This was Wednesday here, and then this was Thursday, right? Heavy selling pressure Wednesday and Thursday. But yeah, something to note was we finally had a weekly red candle for the first time of 2026. I am looking for a bit more pullback, a bit more sell-off, but again, at the same time, probably scoop up some shares of my long-term stocks that I like, which we'll get into. But anyway, for our stocks to watch, the hot stocks to watch, I'm going to start off with Microsoft. Leaning off the point I just mentioned, right? There are times in financial markets where some stocks are way oversold in comparison to their partners, their compatriots, their competition, whatever you want to call them. So what I'm talking about here is Microsoft is way down, especially this year, especially since the all-time highs back in October, in comparison to, the Googles, the Nvidias, the Amazons, the rest of the Mag 7 pretty much. So the reason I'm saying this is because I'm looking at a couple of things. Microsoft had a nice little breakout last week. It was very short-lived. But there was a breakout, right? From 390 all the way to highs of 425, okay? Now, I did not catch a piece of this rally. We actually tried to get into Microsoft here, and it sold off. But again, it managed to catch that pump last week, and I'm looking for something similar. But this time, what I'm going to do with Microsoft is get time on my contracts, and probably I'm just going to wait till I start seeing that uptrend begin. Right now, we're below the 9 moving average on the 4 hour chart. The daily time frame, we're way below the moving averages. And then you look at the weekly chart and it's like, this is really bearish, right? So Microsoft is only on my radar when it finally does begin that uptrend and it confirms the uptrend. And I'm not worried about getting in here late. If I have to get in at 415, 420, whatever, then that's cool. I still believe we're going to go to 437, 471. But I'm looking at Microsoft contracts for June, July, August, 4 or 5 months out. Give myself some time, right? 5, 6 months out. That being said, at the same time, right, and this will not apply to everybody. It will apply to some of you. This is a great time, in my opinion, not financial advice, to scoop up some Microsoft shares, right? It's down 30% from the highs. The highs was up here at 530 last year, right? We kind of double topped to the highs. We're down 30% from the highs. In fact, probably a bit more than 30% actually. But we're down quite a lot from the highs, and honestly, those are the buying opportunities I look for when I'm looking at Mag 7 companies, right? It might be an opportunity, might be, a nice, a low risk, high reward place to park some cash, right? Similar to what I did with AMD last year, similar to what I did with a couple of different stocks last year back in April. This might be, SoFi as well. This might be a place I look to start getting some shares of Microsoft, right? Around $400, anything under $400, I'll probably scoop up. And again, some of you can afford to do that, 3, 4 shares. Some of you can afford a couple shares. Some of you might not be able to afford Microsoft share because you only have 500 in your account, let's say. So again, once Microsoft begins the uptrend, We start breaking above the EMA on the daily time frame. The 4 hour starts looking a bit better, right? Again, breaking above the 9, breaking above the 21. I'll probably look to get into calls. And again, I'm looking for something like this, right? A nice strong uptrend. You know, we almost had it last week, but we got rejected with the market selling off and we sold off. I like Microsoft. Again, it's Mag 7. It's not a company that's, you know, new. It's not a company that's not been around. It's a company that we're all very familiar with. We know what they do. We know how they operate. Okay. So Microsoft, I'm definitely looking at that. Again, if it starts to uptrend this week and we break above, you know, 425, 424, I'll look to swing some calls for, you know, 4 or 5 months out. And again, I'm going to scoop up shares either way, just to get some Microsoft shares at a low cost. Okay. Next up, UNH, United Healthcare. Now, I feel like I say this every single week, United Healthcare. But I feel like at the same time, we're always at the same place, right? We're always around 290, 280s. We still haven't gone anywhere with UNH. But this is something to note. I'm going to mark a level here because we're at the point of resistance, the previous point of resistance right here, 295. That was the resistance spot, right? We reversed after the sell-off. We reversed, hit that 295 spot and sold off. I like UNH. It's a great company. The fundamentals are there. The balance sheet's there. The income statement's there. They got the money. They got the revenue. But it's been struggling for it like a year straight. Okay. Now, the weekly, we finished outside week. Okay. That could mean we start pushing up. We could start pushing up from here. Obviously, we never know. It's never confirmed until, you know, we see the price action play out. But I have got it on my watch list again this week. And again, I feel like this is one of those weeks where it could start showing us a little bit more than it has in previous weeks. We just need to get above that resistance though. Break above the resistance, close above the 21 EMA, push past that 300 level and start trying to go and fill the gap back up to, you know, 310, let's say, first gap 310. Okay, so UNH is on my watch list. And then obviously, right, with the 4-hour chart being bullish and about to perform the golden cross, I like it. With the hourly chart, very clean. I like it. But again, the higher time frames, daily, weekly, I'm still waiting for them to show me everything I need. Okay. If I don't get into UNH until 303 or 304, whatever, I'm okay with that. But the last thing I want is for us to get another rejection, like we did back, you know, here and sell off. Okay. Now, one thing to note as well, I have this noted down is if again, there are people in this group who have 10K portfolio, 15K portfolio, and they're so focused on hitting that 20K mark, 25K mark, that they forget you can also buy shares which will help you along your way. If you buy let's say you have a 10K portfolio, because there are people, believe it or not, there's people in this Discord with 10K portfolios. Let's say you have 10K portfolio, right? And you buy 4 UNH shares, right? And it costs you around $900. That's okay, because once UNH starts to hit 330, 340, go back up to those levels at 350, you're also going to get gains from that. You're also going to get a boost in your portfolio from that. So don't forget that, right? Don't, you know, just skip on buying out shares because you think you can only trade options and can only make money on options, right? Don't do that, okay? If you've got 5-figure portfolio, you should definitely be buying shares, you know, of companies like UNH, like Microsoft, which are, yes, they are more pricier stocks, but you can still be buying shares of them. Okay, so for a less pricier stock, let's talk about Celsius. So what I like about Celsius is you've got the inverted hammer on a daily time frame. Here's a daily time frame, okay? Inverted hammer on daily time frame. Potentially a sign of reversal here. Now, before that daily hammer candle, we had the doji candle, okay? Check the weekly chart as well, right? Weekly chart is pulling back. We might come down to test this 200 EMA before we start bouncing again. Now, again, this is going to be, the name of the game here is just patience. Last time we had the sell-off from 65 all the way to 38, we bounced and went back up to 57. This time, we're in a downtrend on the weekly time frame, but again, the daily time frame is telling me we might get a potential reversal right here. Again, I'm not in this, right? So I can just wait, be patient, let the trade come to me. It is not the perfect setup. It's not the ideal setup, but we are at a previous, level of resistance, which could become the new level of support. Now look at the 4-hour time frame. We tried to break out, we consolidated, tried to break out, and we went to test a 9 EMA, but we still kind of underneath it. So again, I'm gonna wait. There are options in this stock market. I'm gonna wait. I don't need to trade everything. I don't need to get in at the bottom. I don't need to do any of that. I'm gonna wait and see if this does play out how I want it to, and then take it from there. That's simply it for Celsius. Lemonade is also another interesting one. We've got an inside candle here on the daily time frame. So we finished inside day. We also bounced off the 200 EMA, and we're also holding above the level of support. Pretty much bounced above this level of support. So with Lemonade, what I want you to do is go to the weekly time frame, higher time frames, and then zoom out. Okay, zoom out. Okay. Lemonade had such a strong run from last year, April Liberation Day, all the way until the beginning of this year, pretty much last 2 weeks ago, right? We hit highs of $99. Now we rejected, we sold off heavily. The weekly candle, yes, is bearish, this and that. But I'm trying to see, look, this level here was a previous resistance. That could become our new level of support. Again, I'm going to wait, let this trade come to me. They do have earnings this week, Thursday, I believe. I'm not sure if anyone can verify that for me. I think earnings is Thursday. But either way, the post earnings is what I'm looking to trade, especially if earnings is good. Now, of course, it could gap up, right? It could definitely gap up. And if it gaps up after earnings, that's fine. If it gaps down after earnings, it's also fine, right? We missed it out. But listen, I'm not trying to do anything crazy with this. Again, I'm waiting for the trade to come to me. The reason it interests me is because, again, the daily time frame, we're inside day. You know, we bounced off the 200 EMA. We bounced off the level of support. I like the look of, the potential reversal right here. Let's see if it does play out, okay? If we get consolidation with earnings, that's even better. It's just letting us know that a big move is on the way. Once again, I'm going to let the trade come to me. I'm not trying to jump the gun. This is not shares, this is options. So, we're trying to find low risk, high reward setups. That's it, right? Inside day, bounce on the level of support, bounce on 200 EMA. That's it. We're looking for indicators. We're looking for indication of a potential reversal. We're looking for indication of a potential move higher. And that's all I'm looking for here. Next up, I have SoFi. So SoFi is in a similar situation, actually. We hit highs of 34, or maybe 32, I guess, 32 back in November and sold off. And we've been selling off. But now we could potentially form a double bottom on a daily time frame. And if you look at the weekly time frame, you'll see SoFi is way oversold since the highs. Now it needed to pull back, but I want to mark this level here, right here. Okay. So what is this level here? 1848, where we rejected that back in January last year. Well, we broke out in the second time we broke out of the rejection spot. We, pushed all the way up high before we come down to maybe test that same level. Again, it was previous resistance, one resistance, and then we finally broke out two. Now it might become a new level of support. Again, I'm not jumping the gun. Last week, people tried to trade SoFi calls up here, got cooked. Now I'm gonna just wait. If it starts to break out at this level, great, right? And if we go break above the EMAs, this and that, I'll take SoFi up to 22 first and then higher. I still think SoFi is a great company for the long term. I still have an average cost of $9, so I'm still cool with what I've got. But I think SoFi is, another company like UNH where, the fundamentals are good, the fundamentals are there. There's nothing wrong with the stock. It's just not Wall Street's favorite stock. But again, if you like cheap contracts, you like longer term swings, SoFi is the one for you, right? You can buy May, June contracts of SoFi and just sit on them, right? That might be an option for you, some of you, right? It's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and get a better entry and then, trade it up to the upside. But if you want to try and get some SoFi contracts, I know a couple of you do trade SoFi, right? Just get some $22 calls for, a couple months out and just sit on them. Nothing wrong with that. I think that's a good idea when it comes to SoFi. Now, beware, obviously, this is selling off and it can continue selling off. It's not because we get in that it's going to continue higher straight away. Let me quickly check the options chain. Yeah, exactly. So if you go into $2 out of the money for May, you're only paying $170. That's pretty good per contract. For $170 for a 4-month or 3-month contract, that's pretty good. So yeah, SoFi definitely on watch again. I want to see it start, breaking out, and I want to see us get above, the 9 EMA and maybe, start pushing towards the $22 level and higher and higher. Until then, again, I'll wait. Patience is the name of the game. That's all it is. All right. I've got CRM and Micron as well. I'm going to start with CRM. So CRM, Salesforce. Anybody that works in tech or works in, even sales or anything, you guys know about Salesforce, right? I used to use Salesforce at 2 of my previous companies. For the long term, I think Salesforce is a great buy again for shares, right? I'll be honest, this week, you're probably going to see me scoop up Microsoft shares, Salesforce shares, and maybe we'll see, maybe some Celsius. But yeah, Microsoft and Salesforce for sure. But yeah, CRM, right? CRM. We've got a weekly doji on the level of support right here, the bounce area. Okay. If you scroll left, you'll see that was previously the resistance for CRM, Salesforce, right? And we finally broke above, came back to kind of test that level a couple of times, held above it until now. But Salesforce was, it was a $369 stock 2 years ago, right? 18 months ago, realistically. It is now $189 stock. So again, if you have a 10K, 20K, 30K portfolio, which a lot of you guys do, shares of this might not be a bad look, okay? At the same time, for swing trade setups, again, weekly doji, potential sign of reversal, right? Doji is indecision. We bounce on a level of support. This level of support has been there since 2024. The daily time frame, we tried to test the 9 EMA, a couple times, still below it. But I think we can start breaking out soon. Their earnings is next week, I believe. So I might just wait, but I do think with earnings coming up, this one could blow. I'm gonna be honest, I think this one can blow. So here's the 4-hour chart. We're just struggling to break above that 9-day EMA. We're hanging again right around the resistance spot, support spot, whatever you want to call it. We gapped down twice this year so far. And again, it's just suffering because a lot of software stocks are suffering right now. We'll wait for this one, but again, if for shares, I'll scoop some up this week. For swing trades, I think this one is something to just look out for, especially with earnings coming up. And of course, you don't have to trade the earnings, right? That's earnings is a big risk, but the run up to earnings, potential run up to earnings, just keep that on your radar. Friday I had a really strong day, right? 429 jump, so that's why the daily time frame you see the nice strong green candle, but hourly. We've come back to test the EMA, after we broke out. Again, just keep it on your radar. I think, I'm pretty sure CRM contests are quite expensive. So you probably have to go weeklies with this one. But yeah, just again, CRM, keep that on your radar. Now, Micron, let's talk about Micron. So I'm gonna start with the weekly chart for Micron. All right, weekly chart is high. Weekly chart is high. We had the pullback week last week, and this week it bounced right back. Now, look at the daily. The daily shows us just making higher highs and higher lows. We finally look like we're going to break out the, sell off from the top, but we never really continued selling off. We just bounced right back. So the buyers just stepped in again. This is definitely a stock that Wall Street love, and I don't blame them, right? Micron's doing their thing, especially in comparison to some of its competitors. 4-hour chart though, we're sitting above the EMAs. We got the golden cross. Last time we had a golden cross with Micron, this is what happened, right? Last time we had a golden cross with Micron was at $244 back in December. We just continued pushing up, testing the EMAs, retesting the EMAs, and continuing higher. I know it's already way up in the sky, but again, this is Micron. We've seen it with Nvidia 2 years ago. We saw it with SMCI beginning of last year. You've seen it with SanDisk the last 6 months. Just because it's a 411, it's just ran up, it's doubled up since December. It doesn't mean it's going to stop here. So I might look at Micron, probably more of a day trade if I do touch this one, just because, again, those overnight, sell-offs are not really worth it. But I do like Micron. Like I said, the 4-hour chart is strong. Got the golden cross. First time since December we got a golden cross. Hourly on Micron it's not the smoothest, but it is kind of doing it's kind of respecting the EMAs, and it's doing what it's supposed to do at these kind of levels, right? It's up high anyway. So if it does break out, it's going to come test the EMA. It's going to sell off a little bit before it makes the next leg higher. Thursday, Friday, we got the sell off again from 420 to 411. I think we go and test, the 430s this week again. So I'm expecting a $20 run for Micron. I got 2 more now. SanDisk, SNDK. All right, cool. Start with the weekly chart again now. Not a single red candle in sight. Nothing since back in December, first week of December. So SanDisk is high. But check out this, right? Check out this part here. We wicked off the level of resistance. Well, support, I should say, sorry. We wicked off the level of support. The daily formed like a little bit of I won't call it a base, but it's definitely come and tested that level nicely. Same level that we gapped up above back in January. Came and tested that 546 level and took off. So, reason SanDisk is on my radar, right? 4-hour daily, oh, that's above the EMAs, great. if we do come and test this level again, by any means, whatever happens, right? It could be news, it could be the tech stock selling off, it could be whatever. If we go test this level again and start pushing up higher, I'm gonna be in on the calls. Until then, I'm just to wait, right? There's a reason I left this one for one of the last stocks to watch this week. It's already way up high, but I think there's opportunity coming soon. We just gotta wait for it. This here was a great opportunity, which was literally 4 days ago, right? We came down to the 546 level, gapped up, the move continued higher steadily, gapped up again, and we finally pulled back to the end of the week. So if we get any kind of pullbacks again, I'm going to mark this level as well, right? This level right here. I'm going to mark a couple levels actually for this one. This is a reversal spot, and then this is the gap up. So if we come to any of those levels and bounce, then I'll take Micron calls, SNDK calls. Until then, again, I'm just going to wait. I don't have to, go aggressive into the market this week. It's a 4-day trading week. So that's reason for you to move cautiously, okay? These are factors you need to know about when you trade. It is a 4-day trading week. That makes things a little bit more difficult. That means you got a little bit less time to expiry if you're trading weeklies. That means things are going to move a little bit different to normal, right? Different factors are going to be taken consideration when you're trading. The factors that are taken into consideration on the 5-day trading week will not be the same as the contracts you're going to trade during the 4-day trading week, okay? Time to expiry, your Greeks, all those kind of stuff, the premiums, all those things are going to have to take in consideration that it is a 4-day trading week, okay? Just be aware of that. Now, I have one more, of course, the one and only AMD. So we'll start with the weekly. Weekly was crazy. We've got a gravestone doji here on a weekly. Okay. Now with AMD, you guys know my thoughts on AMD, right? Great company. This is going to make us very rich one day. I don't know when, but it's going to make us very rich. I know that. AMD, we got a gravestone doji on the weekly time frame. The daily time frame, it looked like we went to test the EMAs. We struggled to break above them, and we came back down to come and test this level of support, maybe at 2 or 3. Now, 4-hour time frame. Check this, okay? So we had the doji back here. I'm going to mark it. We had this doji back here before the continuation higher. We jumped up like $25 from what, 191 to 219, so like $27, okay? Sold off. Got the outside bar on the 4-hour time frame. You guys know how I feel about the 4-hour time frame. My preferred time frame to do analysis, right? The 4-hour time frame. So we've got the doji, the reversal, the breakout. Got rejected at the 21 EMA, came to sell off, came back to test this area, this zone, you could call it a zone, and started to try to push out again to touch the 9 EMA. Now, without overcomplicating things, you can see on AMD, there's a lot of interesting price action, right? Back on last week, Tuesday, you had all the the selling pressure kicking in, and the buyers were not able to, really get this stock moving and grooving, okay? 2 days later, similar story. AMD, we got the highs of the day was at 220, right? 219 Tuesday, 220 Wednesday. Thursday, highs were 218. So it tells me this. Again, I'm not trying to look too deep into it, right? Obviously, yes, I am biased towards AMD. Everyone knows that. At the same time, I see what's going on with these wicks, right? I see what's going on with these wicks before the crazy red candles. I do see what's going on with these wicks. They were trying to push the price up. Sellers was really the ones, along with the rest of the market, the sellers was really the ones that was making an impact here. Now again, Friday you got the huge wick up to 210, sold off, and then you got the low wick down to 204. So with all that being said, I recognize that last week they were trying to push this one up, right? The last couple of weeks they tried to push this one up and they have not succeeded. I'm going to go back to daily time frame real quick. So we've got the inverted hammer on the daily time frame, okay? That could be the signal. That could be what shows us, again, they're trying to push this one up. They're trying to take this one higher. My price target, again, will be that 220 price point. I think that 220 price point has become a really strong resistance this month. And I think they can, if we go with the swings, we can take this up to 220. Now, we might not break above 220. We might sell off at 220 again. And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. But realistically, AMD is on my watch because, again, if you look at the lower time frames last week, you see what's happening. You clearly see what's happening with those wicks, right? They tried to push the price up multiple times. They didn't succeed. I think there's a lot of buying power, buying pressure coming into this one. But again, sellers just continue to take control. So we're gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see what AMD does. But I think we can take it up to 220 this week, next week. Again, it's just on my radar for that reason. Probably not my top stock to watch. Again, there's a reason I left it to to the last couple. But I do think there's something there with AMD, something brewing, something cooking, especially with the daily hammer candle, especially with the weekly dragonfly as well. Sorry, gravestone joji as well. So yeah. Now, how long is that? That's 30. That's 30 minutes exact. So let's get into your guys' stocks to watch. Let me open Discord real quick. SoFi APLD. Okay, cool. All right, APLD weekly time frame is real nice. A lot of selling pressure back a couple weeks ago, and then the buying pressure this week. Small body closes. Okay. Daily time frame is pulling back. Is it pulling back to go higher again, like it did back here? Actually, I'm gonna draw it like this. I like what I see with this one. I'm gonna do this though. I'm gonna see what we do from here. I'm just taking the top of those candles. I want to see what we do from here. I'm probably gonna draw this line as well. Something right here. Okay. These two have nothing to do with each other, by the way, for those who are wondering. Just a level of support, previous resistance, and I'll see if we can't, start trying to, if we form, we'll see what candles are formed, but I'll adjust this trend line based on those candles. Realistically, 4 hours consolidating along the EMAs, in and around the EMAs. Yeah, 4 hours consolidating in and around the EMAs. Daily's pulling back potentially to go higher, but I just don't know that, right? I don't know if we're going to come down to 27. I don't know. The weekly looks pretty smooth, but it's different time frames, kind of telling me different stories. But if I have to lean one way on this, I'll probably be more bullish by the end of the week than bearish, just because of the weekly time frames. It seems to have a good start to the week and then sell off each time. That's kind of what's been going on. Right, Monday, good start to the week, sell off. The Monday before, good start to the week, sells off. So if you were trying to swing calls, you'd probably have to either be in already from last Friday or wait till next week, honestly. But yeah, APLD does look like it's trying to form something soon. SoFi, I already did SoFi. ABBV. Is that the... Yeah, this is pharmaceuticals. So weekly for this one. Right, the weekly finally... Well, I don't like this candle right here. See, this is crazy. All right. I don't like that kind of price action. But anyway, so we had a consolidation before a nice breakout back last summer. We pull back to continue testing those highs multiple times. I'm going to go with the wicks for this one. Okay. So 237 might be next. If I look at the daily time frame, yeah, the daily is strong. The daily looks real nice. Daily looks real nice. This is a stock that's showing me life, showing me that it wants to continue higher. 4 hour might pull back a little bit to trend higher. $3-4 pull back to trend higher. Let's see if we got anything interesting in regards to news or anything like that. Oh yeah, Walmart earnings is this Thursday, isn't it? Wi-Fi slow, huh? I like ABBV, but I think it's just got a $5-6 run. All right, this is too slow. There we go. All right, so it's already up 80 cents. Strong revenue growth. Oh, okay. Medicare pricing for Botox. Yeah. That's what people love these days. So ABBV, yeah, it looks pretty good. Again, I think it's just pulling back to go higher again. It's been the 4 hours chart is so strong. In the last 2 weeks, it's been so strong. So we've gone from 204 up to 234. So $30 run. Hourly is clean. This hourly chart is clean. Right, so we got the outside bar, broke above the EMAs, got the golden cross, went up here to test the highs, and then pull back. Probably gonna trend higher with ABBV. Good looks though. John Locke says Tesla. Yeah, I was ready for this one. So I like Tesla. I'm gonna wait though. I don't know what this company got going on. Let's look at the weekly chart, okay? We just been getting slaughtered with Tesla with a couple good weeks here and there. But realistically, back from December, or from when we hit 499, just been getting slaughtered. Couple good weeks here and there, couple green weeks here and there. Weekly candle closes a hammer candle last week. And it bounced along the level of support sometime during the week. Honestly, this feels right now, when I look at Tesla, it feels like such a got to catch it on the right day for a day trade kind of trade right now. That's what it feels like, honestly. So we got the doji. This is a cold doji back a couple weeks ago. Pushed up. Hold on. Yeah, we got two dojis here. We got one doji which covers the reversal. Got another doji which gave us a different kind of reversal. It's just not doing it for me right now, but I think Tesla's gonna go start pushing towards that 440 spot soon. But it's just not giving me a clean, it's not giving me a clean indication that it wants to trend higher just yet. I don't know about this one, I'll be honest with you. Like I said, I like it, but I just don't know. Like, it's not giving me any clean indications of when to get in. Friday, I was looking. Friday, look at the hourly Friday, right? I thought we finally had a break above the EMAs. We might start seeing something and start forming something for the higher time frames. Not even. We got a complete reversal right up there and sold off. I think we hit 424 and sold off another $8 by the end of the day. So I like Tesla, but again, I'm just gonna wait. You'll never walk alone. Target. I like Target, but the weekly candles, right? So we finished outside week a couple weeks ago. You guys remember we traded Target that week. We got a nice double bottom here off the $86 level. Now here's my issue with Target. Daily time frame, all right, we broke out. We're just consolidating. Does that mean we're getting rejected at, these highs? It's not all-time highs, but it's these highs, right? I'm not sure what all-time highs are. I know this is not the all-time highs. I know Target has been higher than that. All right, here we go. Yeah, so 132. So yeah, like I said, we're not at the all-time highs, but I think we are at a level where we could reject here. I don't know. I'm going to wait. I like Target, but again, my only problem is we're stuck at that spot, 115, 116, that spot right here. We have been stuck at that spot for 2 weeks now. Sorry, not stuck at that spot for 2 weeks, but we've tested that spot 2 weeks in a row. So I'm going to wait. I think pullbacks for Target, if we stay above the EMA, so if we drop $2, $2.50, yeah, we would trend higher. But right at 115, I'm just going to wait. For Target. Yeah, barely down, so it's fine. AMD we done. BA. Wait, I didn't do United Airlines. United Airlines was on my top stocks to watch this week. I don't know if I did it or not. I don't think I did it. BA. So BA was a bit scary last week. The weekly candles are nice. We got a nice pullback after the breakout to the 9 EMA, to the level of resistance, trending higher. And also that resistance now formed a level of support, by the way. So it was resistance back in August. It is now support in January and February. Daily is nice. Got a inverted hammer candle come off the EMAs. Got a doji. It looks good, but the way BA moves, or the way BA moved last week, I should say, it's just a dangerous one. Look at these wicks on the 4-hour time frame. Look at these wicks. They're not playing with it, right? They'll sell it off quickly, and they'll just hit you with that gotcha, and then boom, you're down. But I like BA. I like the chart. You just got to be very careful with it. You got to be precise with the entry, right? Hourly is good. Came back to the EMAs, holding well above the 9 EMA. It looks good. But it's just, again, it's not smooth as I like. It's just kind of, you got to get such a precise entry with that one. So yeah, that's BA for you. IWM. Now IWM, made me proud last week, right? We went and hit 269 before selling off. But guess what? Let's look at the weekly candles for IWM. We are consolidating. Weekly consolidation, right? We're kind of No, sorry, not consolidating. I'll say we're in a range, right? We're in a zone. IWM looks good though. It does look good, but at the same time, we're high up. So when we look at the daily time frame, right? There's a reason these heavy pullbacks happen. The reason these heavy pullbacks happen. I'm going to mark this level as well. I'm going to mark this level for IWM as well. Previous potential reversal spot became a new level of support as well. I like IWM. I just don't think, I don't think it's giving us clear price action for a couple of weeks now for swing trades. Day trades has been amazing. Day trades has been so clean, right? Hourly, outside bar, sold off, back-to-back days. It's just like the rest of the market. It's been clean. And I managed to hit it at IWM, I think, 2 days last week. Daily, we finished inside day. Realistically, right, if the market sells off, IWM probably drops $6. If the market pumps, IWM probably goes, up $7. It's just in a weird spot right now, right? It's at this level. Like I said, if it shows me something clear intraday, I can take it for a day trade. This is not something I'd swing right now, right? Like last week I said, swinging QQQ puts looks nice. It did look nice, right? We dropped, I think, $17. IWM, it's not as clear, right? It's not as clear. Like this rejection spot, maybe you can mark that rejection spot right now that it's happened, right? So you can mark it as a rejection spot right now that it's happened. But until now, it wasn't really clear. Okay. Same way some stocks are going to show me something.
I hear nothing.
Same way some stocks are going to show me something that is clear. It's not showing me something clear. You just get for swinging. Day trading, intraday.
Yeah.
It's good, okay.
What do you think it was?
That's all the stocks are. Oh, UPS. Oh, this looks nice. Wow. Weekly is way overbought. Way overbought. I feel like this needs to come down some. The daily, though, realistically, the daily is just telling us, hey, we're just respecting the EMAs. We just, we broke out, but we're going to come test the EMAs and go higher. 4 hour now, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. So even though it looks way overbought on the weekly, it can still trend higher. I just personally don't think this is a great opportunity, great risk to reward, because it's just way up high. It's in the sky, UPS. So the packages are flying. What's FedEx doing? Yeah, same thing. Same thing. The delivery company's got it going on right now. This is that freight. They're moving that weight. Yeah. Yeah, FedEx and UPS, they're up high. They can obviously continue higher, right? Look at SanDisk, look at Micron. They can continue higher. I'm just not trying to touch them up there. I'd rather get in a SoFi or a Microsoft when it starts getting active, starts cooking. When it starts getting active, obviously, right? Not right now. When it starts getting active. Or a Micron when it starts cooking.
Big car.
No, sorry, Microsoft I meant. When it starts cooking, the risk to reward ratio is better in my eyes. UPS is looks good, but it's high up. How much further are we going before we get a heavy pullback? That's my concern with this one. And that's what you kind of want to look for. Cup and handle? Not really.
You get paid?
Inverse head and shoulders?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Is it line ended?
A little bit.
Gabriel, can you go on mute? Because you kind of talking over the Zoom. It's hard to hear.
Not real inverse head and shoulders. But still, it's a nice chart. It's just high up for me. It's just high up for me, realistically. Yeah. Obviously, look, if I was to mark some levels, price tags for this, I'm going to go with this here. Right, where we wicked off of, where we bounced off of 123. So yeah, it almost hit 123 last week. For me, again, this is not my ideal thing, but if it does pull back, $5-6 maybe to the EMAs on a weekly time frame, or the daily comes down to 21 EMA, again, that 113 level, maybe up around there, then I might try and trade it. But for me right now, I wouldn't want to get in before it pulls back, because then I'll be part of the pullback when it does sell off. Okay. Coinbase. Ooh, Coinbase. So, I didn't know Coinbase is 164 right now. I thought it was still $200. I've not looked at this one in a while. So we broke the red streak. The weekly candle finished green last week. The weekly candle closed green. Now look at the daily time frame. We're trying to test EMAs now. Realistically, Coinbase relies so much on crypto being 16% Friday. Hold on, let's see the hourly chart Friday. Was it a gap up? Yeah, it was, huh? 141 to 167. Realistically, Coinbase relies so much on crypto doing well that it's one of those stocks where if you don't get in, it's a bit like MSTR to the upside. If you don't get in before crypto runs, you're going to be part of the pullback when crypto sells off. So I like stuff that is oversold and starting to trend higher, but Coinbase not really showing it for me. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin was selling off this weekend too, wasn't it? Bitcoin. Yeah, it was selling off today. Oh, that came back though. Where's Friday? Hold on. Yeah, it sold off this weekend. Look, Sunday, yesterday. Yeah, it sold off. We were at 70K. We were at 68K. We bounced back a little bit today. I don't know. Coinbase ain't really doing it for me. But at the same time, if crypto does start running again, the thing with Coinbase, right? I'm not trying to get in Coinbase after the $23 run up. That's my problem with Coinbase. Hourly is nice though. Hourly is nice. It broke out. We're at a similar spot though to previous times. So can we hold here and trend higher, or are we going to do what we did here last time and sell off? Somebody's drawn my screen. Fernandez. G Fernandez or Fernando. Please don't draw on the screen. Yeah, Coinbase ain't really, like, the chart ain't, it's okay. It's not great. It's okay. Right, we're at the same consolidation spot from last time. Maybe you'll just sell off. Any other stocks?
Yo, Prince, when you get a chance, look at Oxy.
Oh, I love these kind of stocks. We're going to start with a weekly. Cool. So it was on a strong run. You guys know what happened with, Venezuela, with seizing their president, arresting him, all that kind of stuff, right? That's why Oxy broke out. Let's be real. That's why Oxy broke out. We was in a downtrend for a while. That's why we broke out. Now, this is interesting. Check the daily time frame. You got a nice inverted hammer. Like, that's real inverted hammer right there. Off the 90 EMA, not off the 90 EMA, but closing above the 90 EMA. We wicked up to 21 EMA. We might go test that $47, $48 level again, and maybe even trend higher. Now, I don't know, because when I look at the 4-hour time frame, I see this and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of repeating the pattern from here, right? It's a bounce spot, previous bounce spot, also was a resistance spot back last month. We could trend higher right now. I like what I see. What's that? Gravestone Dojo on the 4-hour time frame. I like what I see. It would be good for a $1.60 run. This might be a swing trade potential right here. I see the hourly chart consolidating, maybe going to go higher. Oh, this looks decent. So when we was at this spot previously, if you just scroll left, you can always scroll left and see what goes on. Once, twice, right? We're at the same level right now. We pushed up. There we pushed up by 70 cents. There we pushed up by $1.20. We might be at the same spot again for the same move to the upside. This I like. Now they do have earnings this week. So beware of Oxy. What's the earnings this week? No, not Coin, Oxy. All right, cool, slightly down. So it's facing significant challenges ahead of its Q4 earnings report. And analysts are projecting a 76% decline in EPS and 40% drop in revenue year over year. Yeah, that's really bad news, but that's That's also, they could work off that. They could use that to their advantage, right? Analysts expecting a 76% decline in earnings per share. If they beat earnings per share, this thing could pump. A 14% revenue drop over, year over year is nasty as well. But again, if you get, revenue growth, let's say you get double digit revenue growth, right? 10%, 20%, whatever, or not, that's a bit extreme. 10% or 12% or 14% revenue growth. This thing could just boom. And it's not going to be crazy because it is still from the energy sector, so their earnings never goes really crazy. But it could be something to watch just to swing before earnings and maybe the aftermath of earnings. I probably wouldn't swing it over earnings. That's just me though. I think they have earnings this. I think it's Thursday. I'm trying to see. Earnings Whisperer, shout out them. Okay, all right, here we go, guys. I'm gonna show you the earnings tab. All right, you guys see the earnings tab. All right, so the Oxy. Okay, Oxy is not on there. I'm pretty certain they have earnings this week, though. I'm quite certain. It's not on there, though. Earnings call. When is their earnings? I'm pretty certain it's this week. Oh well, we'll find it. Anyway, just remember again, Walmart's earnings is Thursday. That's something to look out for. And then probably you want to look out for Figma, Carvana.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. Okay, thank you. There we go. Thank you. So Oxy's earnings is Wednesday. I don't know why it's not here, but yeah, Oxy is more important than Solar Edge, Constellium, Veris. Come on. Anyway, so Carvana probably get interesting because Carvana, if you guys know about Carvana, right? Carvana was like $5 or $6, and it went up to 400 something. And it's also, if you don't know, you can check charts on Yahoo Finance as well. People don't know about that, but that's where I started off. So this thing was it was a $5 stock, and it went up to 470 a couple months ago. But yeah, Carvana will be interesting. Figma probably be interesting. I think DoorDash has been getting cooked, if I'm not mistaken. That might be interesting as well. 1 year. Yeah, 22% on the year, 21% on 5 years. Yeah, DoorDash been getting cooked. Look, every time frame, cooked. 5 days, down 12% in 5 days, down 26% in a month, down 36% in 6 months, 29% year to date, 22% over the 1 year, 21% over 5 years. So DoorDash been getting cooked. They might still get cooked again. Just watch out for that one. But yeah, that's mainly it, folks. Any other stuff you want me to break down? We are 55 minutes in so far. It's been pretty effective. Again, it's a 4-day trading week. I don't like 4-day trading weeks. They're just not, the way the stuff moves, I don't really like it. Yeah. That might be it, huh? Exxon. Yeah, so Exxon is real interesting. Last week, I hit one of my biggest plays in a while from Exxon. Now, where should I start with Exxon? Let's start all the way back from the weekly. Let's start back in 2025. Back in 2025. Here, this is January 25. We were stuck at a resistance spot, 119, which we had been stuck at a couple times. I say a couple times, like 3 or 4 times in a while. Wait, sorry, this is not 2025. Here's 2025. Okay, cool. Back at the beginning of last year, back in March 2025, we were stuck at a 119 resistance spot. We were stuck at that spot. We sold off heavily, came back to test 119, end of the year, still got stuck, and this year we finally exploded out. Okay, that's what happens when you test a similar resistance spot multiple times over a year, 2 period. Okay, Exxon right now, you see this weekly candle. Let me tell you something. Friday's price action, and a little bit of Thursday, of course, caused the weekly candle to flip from green to red. Look at the selling pressure. Look at the wick. So we hit highs of 157. We sort of all the way back to 148. Right, $9 drop for Exxon. Daily time frame though. This is why you go to multiple time frame analysis. Okay, daily time frame. We were way overbought. We pull back now to the EMAs. Cool. Right, we're still above all the EMAs. That is still bullish. The 4-hour time frame. We're still above the 21 EMA. Okay, we haven't gone touched the 21 EMA since over a month ago. But anyway, we're still bullish. We're still bullish. Cool. We got a hammer candle, bearish hammer candle, inverted hammer candle, bearish again. Both of these bearish. We got a pullback that was needed. Right? We can't just run up. Okay. Now check the hourly chart. We're below the EMAs. We got a death cross. So Exxon might be due for another pullback. We do have consolidation. That is a good sign. Consolidation is a good sign. Usually, you get a big move after consolidation. But again, be aware of this. We had such a strong run. We had like a $30 run over the last couple of weeks. We had a $30 run. Exxon was bound to pull back. Now, realistically, I'm going to mark this level for you. Wait, hold up. All right, I'm going to mark this level for you. Let me show you. Reversal spot. After the bullish run, the reversal spot. We may go touch that spot before we trend higher. So that's where it looks like on a 4-hour time frame. This is what it looks like on the hourly. Rejection at that 147, sell off. Break above the 147, continue higher. We're now consolidating right above that 147. Okay? So the reason I'm saying these different things is because Exxon right now, it can trend higher. Yes, it can trend higher. But I feel like we still need a little bit more pullback before we trend higher. And the pullback might only be $1. It might be $1.50. And that's sometimes that's all you need. But I feel like this level is key. This 147 is key level. Realistically, what? That's an 80-cent drop. Realistically, that's an 80-cent drop. It might just pull back 80 cents and then trend higher. So I like Exxon calls again. I think we go test that 157 level again. Like someone's already up a little bit, 45 cents. I think it needs a little bit of pullback, but I think, yes, we'll trend higher with Exxon. But as always, you don't want to jump the gun, okay? If Exxon does, if you got into Exxon anywhere here, you got hit by the pullback, realistically. If you got into Exxon when we got in last week, Tuesday, wait, was it Tuesday that we got into Exxon? I believe so. Yeah, it was Tuesday. Yeah, and then next day gapped up, right? That's where you want to be in before the run. So just wait a little bit. I think Exxon is consolidating to break out to the upside. I'll just wait for a little bit of a pullback. If it doesn't occur, that's okay. That's okay as well, right? And if you on your own want to take Exxon calls right now as it stands, that's up to you. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Okay. UAL. I think I did UAL, but it was definitely on my stock to watch for this week. I'll show you why. So weekly, we finished inside week, red candle after pull back after the nice explosion out after the 21 EMA. Check the daily time frame now. Pulling back to my level of support. I like it. We are looking a little bit bearish, but I like the pullback because we exploded out. We went from 102 to 119, which is a strong level of resistance right here. Strong level of resistance right here. We sold off. 4-hour is starting to get busy. We'll probably get, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll probably get some bullish price action, probably get some volume, probably get some momentum to the upside. But check the hourly. The hourly shows us we're loading up for something. I don't know what. Right? This hourly time frame reminds me a lot of this. Reminds me a lot of this kind of price action right here. Again, I'm going to wait. I like UAL. I think it can go back up to 119. You just got to be really, really precise with your entry on this one. That's all. Okay. Would you wait for the hourly to turn bullish, price above 9 a.m.? So 9 EMA before jumping in for Exxon? Wait, would you wait? Okay, it's edited now. Would you wait for the 1 hour to turn bullish, price above 9 EMA before jumping in for Exxon calls? Hourly is already bullish. Okay, check one. Price above the 9 EMA to jump in? Not personally, that's not when I would jump in. I'll personally jump in if it comes down a little bit more and starts trading higher. I like to use my levels. I really do like to use my levels. Look, I'll show you QQQ. There's a reason that I always joke about this stock. I like to use my levels. Look at the hourly chart. this I'm counting this pretty much. That's the resistance, right? Hits the 21 EMA, comes down. Hits the level of resistance. Sorry, the level of resistance 615 comes down. Hits the level of resistance 617, comes down. This all happened last week. I like my levels. Bounced to my level at 608. Bounced, trend higher. I like my levels. So Exxon, I just wanted to come down a little bit more and start trending higher. It's a previous resistance spot. It was a strong resistance back a couple weeks ago. I wanted to come down a little bit lower. And it might not, right? It might be a zone instead of a specific line, a specific price point. It might be a zone. But I wanted to sell off a little bit before it trends higher. And of course, it's already sold off a lot. I just need a little bit more sell off before I personally get in. That is my risk to reward. If you was to get in right now, I still think you'll be okay. That's not my thing. You know, hourly inverted hammer candle looks cool. It's not the strongest hammer candle in the world, but it looks cool. TRP. All right, and then I need to go soon. I got an appointment at the dealership in 20 minutes, so I'm not trying to wait. You know, get the free lunch and everything, and to get the tour. I'm not trying to waste their time. TRP. All right, cool. I like this. Hourly looks good. 4 hour, it was a bit overbought. Sorry, daily. And this is why we look at multiple time frames. It's a bit high up for me. It looks very strong. It's a nice chart, but it's high up for me. The hourly is the only one that looks okay. And this is, I'd rather see this on the higher time frames than lower time frames. Yeah. If you want to day trade this, you might be okay. All right, folks. Like I said, I need to start getting moving. Thank you all for coming through. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate all your support as always. And I'll see you in the training chat, in the training discussions. Make sure you're there, bright and sharp tomorrow. We're going to get this money again. 4-day trading week. Don't forget that. So yeah, thank you guys for coming through. And that's it. Peace.